Ahoy!
Oh, that was an aggressive one.
It was, sorry.
Oh,
I didn't like it.
Do you want to do another one?
Ahoy!
Cool, well done. Welcome to another episode of The Wave. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome to The Wave, the weekly news and chat show from the world famous Bottom of the Stream podcast.
It is indeed
Podding your casts since
a long time.
2019.
2019. Coming up on 4 years in April.
Amazing.
Yeah, crazy. How are you, Nick?
Do you know what?
What?
I'm a lot better than I was a few days ago.
Oh, no, what's happened?
I was just ill all weekend last weekend.
Why do people always get ill at the weekends?
I know.
I always get ill at weekends.
Absolutely scuppered me.
Took you off your feet?
Yeah.
Really? Bad?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't pretty.
Oh, dear.
It was
Oh,
not
dear.
pretty. Yeah, it was a rough sort of 48 hours.
Feeling better now?
Yeah, I did, today, I actually do feel human.
Good.
Well,
That's good.
today and yesterday, so that's good.
You're looking good.
Thanks.
No problem.
So are you.
Thanks.
I mean, the most annoying thing was that I could only pay a fleeting visit to our watch along at the weekend.
Yeah, you turned up and then you vanished quite quickly.
Well, there was a reason for that.
Okay.
Because I joined on my phone.
For those of you who don't know, we do watch-alongs in our Discord some Sunday
Yeah.
nights. We watched a couple of films this week.
I did say to the guys before, when you were trying to set the whole thing up.
Yeah, I just couldn't get it to work. I don't know what was wrong with it.
This might only be a flying visit because I've only got a certain amount of battery left and I'm on my phone. And the reason I'm on my phone to join and say hello is because I'm in the bath. So,
Nice. How very Hugh Hefner of you.
yeah. So, that's the kind of content you get if you're in our Discord.
Yes, Nick in the bath. What more could make you want to join? Yeah, we did. Well, we might as well start with that then. Now you've mentioned it, we
Okay.
did. We watched 2 films on Sunday night in the Discord.
Yeah.
We finished off the Robert franchise
Yeah.
of Robert the Doll. Yeah, we did that. That's good that that's finished now. The 4th one was the worst one.
Sure.
It was absolute dross from start to finish.
And that is saying something given.
They were all dross.
Yeah.
The 4th one was the worst. 35 minutes into this film, everybody you've met so far gets killed off, and then it starts again
Lovely.
with people that
Absolute
you've known
reset.
from the other films. It's an absolute reset. 35 minutes into a 70-minute film.
Bold.
45 minutes before Robert showed up.
Bold tactic, Connor.
45 minutes till Robert showed up. The last one was all right. The last one was a reboot, so it felt like there was a bit more budget. It was actually, some of it was filmed in Moscow.
Nice.
So they went on location to film some of it. So it felt like there was a bit more budget, and it was all right. It was still shit, but it was all right. But we had some bad news.
Yes.
We found out whilst we were watching them that the director of these films, who we got onto because we did one of his films on the show. We did Wells of the Third Reich.
Third Reich.
We did. We didn't rate it, but we did it on the show, and unfortunately passed away earlier this month. Right, in January. It was only 39.
Yeah.
It's no age. It's a real shame.
Yeah.
So
It's Andrew Jones.
Andrew Jones, yeah, prolific British filmmaker. I think he's got 29 credits on IMDb.
Yeah, I
There's
think
also a lot of his films on Netflix.
there are.
Most
I
of his films
did
are on
a
Netflix.
bit of a count, and I may not have it exactly right. It's something like in the last 5 years,
Yeah,
he directed and released 14 movies.
yeah.
14, 15 movies.
I think it was 2015. He released like 5 or 6 in a year, which is ridiculous. So yeah, but yeah, he's unfortunately passed away, only 39.
Yeah.
No age. Sad note to start the podcast on.
Well, next thing is got to decide what's going to be the next watch along.
Yes, we've got a few ideas. So
join the Discord and you can contribute.
yeah, we love shit B movie, low budget films that we do watch alongs for. It's probably once a month, once every 2 months on a
something
Sunday
like that.
night. So yeah, if that's something you might be interested in, we all just get together on a Discord call and watch a film together. It's great.
Have a chat.
The Discord link is in the show notes.
How have you been?
I've been okay.
A long way round till we get to yourself.
Yeah, I'm all right. I've not. This week seems to have gone really fast.
Okay.
I don't feel like I've done much.
Yeah,
this
no,
week.
they said they would speed it up this week.
Because last week was really slow.
Yeah,
so
they've got.
I feel like they have
got to balance it out.
I feel like they have balanced it out a little bit. But no, I haven't really done a lot this week. I've been quite a quiet week. I've hurt my wrist. I don't know how I've done
Right. I mean, we're in dangerous territory already, aren't we?
that. I opened a box
Right.
last night,
Yeah.
and ever since then, I've not been able to.
Still dangerous territory.
I've not been able to do anything with my wrist. It's
Okay.
really painful.
Was
I don't
it-
know what I've done.
was it like a small box, a big box?
It was,
it
yeah.
Pandora's box?
It was a Pandora's box. It was a smallish box. It wasn't a heavy box.
So it wasn't like.
You know when you're just doing something and you thought, "Fuck that!"
I mean, you've
hurt."
opened boxes before.
I've
You
opened
were
hundreds
like,
of boxes in my life.
How do I
At
do
least-
this? What?
At least 8 boxes I've opened in my life.
Okay.
So, but you know when you're just doing something, you think, "Fuck that hurts," and there's no reason why that hurts all of a
Sure.
sudden. And since then, it really hurts.
Weird
But-
bits of you do start to ping and twang
As you get
and
older, I
pop
think you're right.
on you.
Just down there on my wrist, it
Yeah.
hurts. Don't know what I've done.
That's rough.
That's very rough. That's it though. That's the most exciting thing that's happened in my life this week.
Well, you make sure you look after yourself.
I will do. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Should we do some Netflix news?
Sure.
It's been a quiet week for news, but also a
Not.
big piece of news has come out.
I would say not necessarily lots of stories, but a couple of quite substantial ones.
Yes.
And we will start with an update. The detail, in fact, for which we were complaining we didn't have, but last week.
Yes, we
And
will.
that is how Netflix will be policing the crackdown on password sharing.
Yeah.
And basically, they are planning to force users to regularly connect via their home Wi-Fi.
It's a sensible way to do it
Yeah,
because you kind of have got people over a barrel there.
sure.
So there are ways around this though.
There are, but essentially the theory is that Netflix will ask you if it notices that you are either regularly or randomly logging into your account from an IP address somewhere else.
Yeah.
It will ask you to enter a code.
Yes.
It will send to your phone or
They're going to
whatever.
email you with a code that you need to type in.
Yeah.
So that's an easy way around it, isn't it?
Yeah, of course there is.
so
But-
all you need to do, I'm not going to advocate password sharing here,
Absolutely not condoning it.
not condoning it, but all you need to do is set up an email account that everybody who needs access has got access to.
Yes.
And you've sorted that then. Problem solved. It's going to be a bit annoying having to put code in every so often, but if it's going to save you £15 a month, it's
I
worth
mean,
the effort.
well, you say that, but how many other apps and devices that you have to do that anyway
Yeah,
for
absolutely,
security
yeah.
purposes? We're not talking. I don't think we're saying Netflix is changing the world here, are we?
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, and I'm sure it'll always pop up when you is the least convenient time.
Yeah.
But it's happening, like or not, it's happening.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. There's also talk of a small extra charge to allow you to do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's only going to be £2, £3 a month, just get that person to pay you, and they've got a Netflix account for £2 a month.
Netflix says it will send a link to the email address or the phone number associated with the primary account holder. This will contain a 4-digit code that will need to be entered on the untrusted device within 15 minutes. They say that this may be required periodically. It will also be needed if you are away from your home for an extended period of time. For example, if you take a device traveling and plan to keep using Netflix.
I guess that's if you can't log onto your own Wi-Fi after 31 days, they're going to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. I don't know if Netflix would be my top priority if I found myself with the luxury of being able to travel for an extended period of
If
time.
I'm away from home
but-
for 31 days, I'm probably not watching Netflix.
but there you go.
How do you think this is going to affect them numbers-wise?
I mean, we said last week. I mean, Netflix themselves said, didn't they, that they're basically banking on, it's a scaling up of the experiment they've done in the last few months in Central and South America, which they are saying, although they haven't released any stats to confirm it, that they did see an initial drop in subscribers, but then that has now come back or leveled off.
The thing I wonder if they've thought of, and I'm sure they have, that was a very arrogant thing to say. For instance, if I was sharing my Netflix account
Yes.
and I'm on the highest tier,
Yes.
so I've got 4 accounts that I can theoretically share with whoever I want at this point in time. If they stop me doing that, I'm going to bring my account down a level. I don't need those 4 accounts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
100%.
I'm going to save myself money that way. And they can't guarantee that the people I theoretically share my account with are going to get an account themselves.
No, of course not.
So in theory, they're losing £5 a month by doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll all balance out for them in the end. There's obviously going to be people who are sharing accounts currently who are going to have to set up their own account and will willingly do that. There definitely are people out there who do that. There's people out there who can't live without Netflix now.
Related to this, because there's always a tweet.
Yes. There's always a tweet.
It has been sort of getting viral over the last couple of days. A Netflix tweet from 2017.
Okay.
And do you know what that said?
What?
It said, "Love is sharing your password."
They've never had an issue with it before. They've not condoned it, but they've known it's happening.
But still, it was always just a matter of time.
Yes.
The bigger surprise should have been their previous attitude to it.
Well, yeah.
And they kind of, not embracing it, but not far off, let's be honest, with stuff like that.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if they've let's get the world addicted to Netflix.
Yeah.
And then when they're addicted,
Got
we'll charge them all for
exactly.
it. So it makes you wonder if that's not the play here. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. It doesn't. There's still not really a launch date for when it's going to start happening. I think it's imminent.
I feel like it is. It's just ready to go.
Yeah, they're just going to press a button.
When
they've started changing all the policies and wordings on the website.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be long before people are going to start getting these codes coming through.
And it is simply that the competition is there now. They're in a
absolutely.
different world than they were even 2 years ago, let alone 5 years ago.
Yeah.
When they were the only game in town.
Yeah, absolutely.
Times change.
They do. That's just
business is business.
It's be interesting. It's going to be an interesting few months to see what sort of, because viewing numbers are going to go down as well in theory.
So,
So,
imagine how random the metrics are going to have to get
exactly.
to create. This is our new biggest, most viewed show. Or whatever.
yeah, by unique accounts in the first 28 days.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's going to happen, isn't it? Next.
Well, because one controversial Netflix story isn't enough for a week.
Okay.
Netflix has also took some flack this week by admitting that they have been using artificial intelligence to help make a recent anime rather than paying actual human artists.
Wow.
So, is that the future?
Yeah.
Why do we even need humans to make films?
Artificial intelligence is definitely
Creativity.
It's coming. Whether people
Forget
like
about
it or not, it's coming. It's just how we learn to adapt and live with it. Did you notice today on the socials I put out a Instagram post about this week's film, and the background was slightly different.
Yeah.
That background was AI generated. I will admit that to you now.
Did you also notice we had a reply from an account?
I did notice that
It's
earlier.
pixel art,
Yeah.
which I presume is just another AI type.
I
thing.
assume so, yeah.
And they replied with our logo
Made out of
movie posters.
I did notice that earlier. It's pretty cool. But it's not one image. They've cut the image into 4 pieces.
Yeah, no,
So you can't use it.
no, of course not.
But yeah, that background image I generated with AI.
Well, the
Sorry, Ross.
sci-fi anime in question is The Dog and the Boy, which is coming out this week on Netflix. It's only it's a 3 minutes short about a kid whose robot dog waits for him when he goes off to war, and all the background art for the short film, Netflix admits, was generated using AI rather than being drawn by human. They say that a human did draw a relatively rough layout of what they wanted by hand. This image was then put through an AI art generator a few times before finally being touched up by hand to create the final artwork. But we don't know who, as in which AI company have done this, because in the credits for the short film, background designer is simply credited as AI open brackets plus human close brackets.
Wow. An artificial intelligence can't claim copyright over any image or
Yeah.
words generated. So you don't need to credit anybody because nobody's actually came up with it. So it's really interesting. And it's, again, it's something else Netflix have done as a proof of concept to see if it works.
Yeah.
And if it worked, don't be surprised if you see them do it again. It won't be long before we're getting AI characters in films and TV shows. And like, if you need a robot character, there are now robots on the internet that can play that character.
Of course.
It won't be long. It's happening, and people have just got to be prepared for it because AI is not going anywhere.
The days of paying Vin Diesel $1 billion to say "I am Groot."
Yeah, that's long gone.
All right, we're going to be over.
It's long gone. Even more than that. I mean, did we mention ChatGPT on the show?
I think
a couple of weeks ago,
mostly
briefly
talked about it off.
Okay, I think we might have mentioned it on this.
Well,
Well, if not, I've been playing with it quite a bit. And you just put a voice to that, and you can have a conversation with that thing.
Yeah.
And it won't be long till actors are having conversations with it.
Sure.
I'm telling you now. So it's not just going to be. People have got to learn to live with this thing. So it ain't going anywhere. That's quite interesting. I find that more interesting than controversial.
Okay.
Personally. And I know artists are going to come at me now. Ross is going to kick off at me again. That's all he's done this week. But I don't know. I just find it interesting.
It's not my world anymore.
It's not. We've got to keep up with the changing times. Anyway, what's next?
Netflix
Oh.
are shopping around 2 completed movies
Right.
to other distributors because they're not going to show them.
Okay, that's interesting.
This has got to be a first to my memory. Anyway, 2 completed movies, The Inheritance and House/Wife, are being shopped around because they're not going to be shown.
They just
on
don't
the
want them
streaming
anymore.
service. Yeah. The Inheritance is directed by Alejandro Bruges and is currently in post-production. It stars Rachel Nichols, Peyton List, Austin Stromwell and Bob Gunton. The other movie, House/Wife, was directed by Danis Goulet. Now, The Hollywood Reporter is claiming that Netflix's decision to scrap the project comes as the company seeks to maintain the same level of content spending from last year. So they're hoping to pull in a bit of cash for selling these flicks. Basically.
Wow, okay. So they're basically over budget slightly and they need to get rid of a couple.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I wonder if nobody buys them, if they'll just bring them out anyway, because there isn't many. Who's buying movies if Netflix are not buying movies?
Well, yeah, because we've done countless stories on this show of, well, not just Netflix, Amazon picking up movies that should we say traditional movie studios have dropped or decided to not push forward through anymore. But this is one of the I can't remember another time where Netflix have been on the other end of that.
No, nor me. Who are they selling to? Who's buying these things?
Well, they're open to offers, basically.
Yeah, but who's out there buying them? It's really interesting. That's something I didn't think I'd ever see, and now that's
it'd be a real turn of events if it went to another streamer.
Yeah, like Disney
especially
or Apple.
Yeah.
That is really. I'm going to keep my eye on those 2 films. I'm intrigued to see where they're going to end up.
Yeah.
Keep your eye on that story. Next
is probably the other big story of the week, and that is the announcement of the first slate of DC studio movies, TV shows.
Okay.
Which was a couple of days ago. Which you told me just before we went on air. You had no idea about.
I didn't. I haven't seen this.
I'm quite surprised you've not seen.
No, this has passed me by.
So we will get a live reaction.
Yeah. I'm going to leave this article here and you can read
it. There's a couple of parts to this. So you can. James Gunn released a Twitter video. It's him standing in front of a curtain, basically
telling you what's coming,
telling you what's happening.
Okay.
So the first thing he did was confirm that the existing or close to finished DC movies that we know about will be released. That's Shazam, Fury of the Gods,
Yeah.
Flash,
Yeah.
Blue Beetle, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. They will all have a cinematic release.
Okay, that's good.
He is saying that he said The Flash is one of the greatest superhero movies ever made.
Okay.
And that is the movie that will reset the DC universe.
Right. Okay, that's interesting because that was the one people were expecting to get buried under the carpet a little bit because of its star.
Yeah.
But obviously not. They're going to put all their coins behind that one.
He said that will then lead into their first movies, and this first chapter of the DC universe that they are responsible for will be called Gods and Monsters.
Right.
So that's like the umbrella title.
Okay.
For this group of projects.
So we finish with the Flash. We finish off what we've got, and then we're starting afresh moving forward after the Flash. Okay.
Yeah. So whether there's been some sort of reshoots or
they've given it an ending basically.
Or, or some kind of connective tissue remains to be seen. So the first announcement was a TV show, an animated TV show, Creature Commandos, for which Gunn has already written the first batch of episodes.
Right. Okay.
It kind of looks like a sort of animal version of Suicide Squad.
Interesting.
That's basically the first thing. There's a Peacemaker spin-off series coming called Waller with Viola Davis reprising her role as the title character. That is going to sit in between the first and second series of Peacemaker.
Right.
Because Gunnar said, I've not got time to go straight to make season 2 of Peacemaker because of all this other stuff.
So I'm going to make something completely fresh instead.
Well, with some of the characters from Peacemaker, but he's not writing it.
Okay. So he's basically giving himself a bit of a time buffer zone.
And then the first movie, which we already knew Gunn was working on, he's writing Superman Legacy.
Okay.
It has a release date locked in 11th of July 2025.
It's not even that long away.
Not really. No casting, no directing confirmations for that.
Trust me, you'll know when that film is cast.
That will be followed by Lanterns.
Okay.
Which is going to be an HBO Max event TV series. An Earth-set detective series following 2 Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan and John Stewart, described as true detective with a terrifying mystery that ties into our wider universe. Then followed by The Authority, a movie about a group of superheroes looking to fix a world that they see broken by any means necessary. Then back to TV. Paradise Lost is a show set on Themyscira. Is that how you say it? I've never even seen the Wonder Woman movies.
No idea.
Set on the Amazon island, inhabited by all those wonderful ladies.
It's basically where Wonder Woman was born.
Yeah. He's saying it's Game of Thrones, but with Amazon. And then Batman.
Oh, we're getting a Batman.
Yeah, The Brave and the Bold, which will feature another version of Bruce Wayne who tries to keep his son, Damian Wayne, in line. Booster Gold will be an HBO series featuring a loser from the future who travels back in time and uses the tech from his era to convince people that he's a superhero.
That's an interesting idea. I like that one.
Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow will be a big sci-fi film based on a darker, harsher version of the character raised on a surviving chunk of Krypton who sees everyone around her die. And then finally, a new Swamp Thing movie, a horror-inflected origin story that will intersect with the rest of the DC universe.
That is a very big list. That's more than I was expecting.
Gunn also confirmed that the sequels to Matt Reeves' Batman and Todd Phillips' Joker will fall under the umbrella title Elseworlds.
Right. So they're just
they're outside
of our universe, but they made quite a bit of money, so we're going to keep them.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of news there. That's a lot of information. Some good stuff. Hopefully,
Yeah,
we've got
I mean,
a good 10 years worth of
sure.
stuff going on there. Haven't we?
Sure, and I think it does sound like a mix of obviously really well-known characters
Yeah, some new
and
stuff.
not so much. I'm a little surprised. Am I surprised we're getting Superman and Batman? I'm a little surprised
DC.
we're getting another Batman movie.
Yeah, do we need another?
We've
Batman
already
movie?
got.
Yeah, but you're talking that's the last one on the list.
I
That's
know.
like 8 years away.
Yeah,
Didn't think we'd get that much information out of that. I'm surprised by that.
let's see how that all
Good
ties
that they've
together.
got a plan. Let's see how it plays out.
I mean, people might be tired of superheroes by then.
People are tired of superheroes now. People are not watching these new Marvel movies. So, yeah, I don't know. Be interesting. He's got to take a whole new take on it. They've got to be darker or something different about them. It's got to happen.
If not shit.
And just not shit. It'd be great. Yeah. Next.
The director of Palm Springs. That was a
Oh,
great
yeah,
movie.
That was a great
wasn't
movie. Really, really well respected in our Discord. that
It?
movie.
Max Barbacow
Yeah.
has announced his next project.
Okay.
It is a as yet untitled body swap comedy, starring.
Yep.
Wait for it.
I'm waiting.
Julia Roberts and Jennifer Aniston.
Okay. Interesting. 2 women in their 50s going to swap bodies with each other.
And it's been snapped up by Amazon.
Oh, right. Okay.
I mean, I there's got to be something more to this
Yeah, of course there are.
because, and I really enjoyed Palm Springs. I know a lot of people did.
Yeah,
So
it's very popular.
I kind of, this is quite an interesting sort of tease. That's a couple of quite big names.
Yeah.
And my first question is, what's the gimmick? Because usually with a body swap, you've got, it's kid and adult.
Yeah, or
it's
boy to
slob
girl,
and
or-
posh person, or,
Boy to girl or
Yeah.
something along those lines. You know, now you're getting middle-aged lady to middle-aged lady.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's quite the step up. Star power wise, I guess.
Definitely. They're two of the most famous women in the world.
Yeah. More news as we get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep our eye on that one. We say this a lot. Let's keep our eye on that one, and then we never go back to
Yeah,
it.
we do, because we come back to it and give updates on previous bits of news, like who is going to play Michael Jackson
Oh yes.
in the Michael Jackson biopic.
Yeah, I thought that we'd got this planned out last week, but then things changed quite quickly.
We when we talked about the Michael Jackson biopic, we did say for a little while, who's going to take that on?
Yeah, we did.
That's going to be who's going to want to do that? There's potentially a really controversial role. Well, there's maybe something we didn't consider.
Yes, we never thought about.
Keep it in the family, because Michael Jackson's nephew Jafar is going to play Michael Jackson in the biopic.
Who better?
Yes, the return of Jafar. So this is Jermaine Jackson's son.
Youngest son. Yeah.
Yeah. He's 26 years old.
He is.
I think.
He looks like him. Or he looks like what he would have looked like had he stayed looking like that.
I mean, is it cynical of me to assume with this new information that this might not be the most warts and all biopic we've ever
I don't think that's cynical. I think that's fair. This is the way.
seen?
This is a way for the family to keep involved. Surely. Well, they reckon they did a worldwide search and they just was like, "Well, there's nobody who can do this better."
Imagine if they'd done that first.
Yeah.
And they're literally years long worldwide search. And then they just found this kid
Yeah.
at the back of the
Oh,
room.
Jermaine's got a son.
Yeah.
Let's try him. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's no way this is going to be the story of Michael Jackson. This is going to be a glorified story of Michael Jackson.
It's hard not to postulate that that'll be the case.
I'm
But
sure it'll be great.
Good for Jafar, I guess.
Absolutely. Looks like a nice kid. Anything else?
Last piece of news.
Cool. What we got?
Because gaps between resetting of franchises
Yeah.
just seem to get exponentially shorter, don't they?
Absolutely.
Because I was pretty sure that there was a new movie on this franchise really recently.
Okay.
Turns out it's 5 years old.
Okay. That's really recent.
But it's still quite recent. Amazon have announced this week that they have struck a deal to develop movies,
Okay.
games,
Yep.
and TV series, all set in the Tomb Raider universe.
Interesting.
And in terms of at least the TV series, they have signed up Phoebe Waller-Bridge to write.
Wow. I love Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I love Tomb Raider. They don't seem to be two things that go together to me.
Not necessarily. She had a lot to do with the upcoming Indiana Jones movie as well.
Yeah, she has.
That also feels like possibly not a match, but
Yeah, you're right. She's in that as well, isn't
yeah, she is. Yeah, she does have it. It is worth noting a sort of overarching deal with Amazon,
Right.
To help develop shows. But yeah, apparently she's a fan. I mean, she would say that.
Yeah,
if
of course
you
she
can sign up to help write this thing. Yeah, but again, according to the Hollywood Reporter, the aim, because this is always the aim, is to create a linked universe of movies, shows, and a new game
Oh, wow.
featuring the adventurous Lara Croft.
The Adventurous. Yeah, she's pretty adventurous.
Yeah. I also feel like there is a new Tomb Raider game every couple of years.
Yeah, they do come
There's
every so
never
often.
not been one, has there?
No.
Not for like an extended...
No, they do come every... The last one was really good. I played the
Yeah.
last one. It was really good. I think it was the last one. One of the last ones was really good. Interesting.
She's coming back.
Who do you cast as Lara Croft these days?
I have no idea.
Nor do I. All news done?
That's all the news.
Good news week. The
Done.
password sharing thing's the big news this week. And that's the one that's going to affect everybody.
Yeah.
Well, everybody password shares. Some people don't,
Yeah.
obviously. Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream?
I've not watched loads,
I haven't either, really.
but I have watched a few episodes of something I have really enjoyed, and that is Extraordinary
Oh, I've been watching that too.
on Disney Plus.
How many have you seen?
3.
I've done
I think 3.
6,
Yeah.
maybe.
I'll
Yeah, it's great.
Probably go and carry on when I get back home.
Yeah, same. I will as well. It's
Right.
great. It's just...
Found it hilarious.
It isn't what I was expecting because I didn't know what I was expecting. It's a superhero show, but
It is,
ultimately, but it's about, for people who don't know, it's a superhero show about everybody in the world has a superpower except for our main character
Sure.
who hasn't been given one or hasn't received one from the universe.
As-
How
as
she
my-
deals with that. And I was expecting it to be like a teeny American like drama, and it isn't at all.
It's a sweary British.
It's a sweary British grungy comedy
Yeah, with a cool soundtrack.
with a really cool soundtrack.
As my wife said when we were watching it, this is like Encanto, but with swears.
It's a good shout. That is a good shout. There's some brilliant.
It's basically the same story. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really good characters in it. Have you? I don't know how far you're in. Have you met Jizzlord yet?
I've just watched the episode where they put the vigilante team together.
Okay, no then. But
So-
it's wonderful. Jizzlord's amazing. When you meet Jizzlord, he's so funny, and he's called Jizzlord, which is funny.
I'd laughed loads.
Yeah, I've laughed a lot more than I did. I finished Abbott Elementary this week.
Yeah.
Which is also great, but I didn't really laugh a lot. But
So,
in this
yeah,
first
I found
episode.
the same.
But
With
then
it.
the end of the first episode of Extraordinary is a gut punch.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's like, whoa, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it's out of nowhere. That's like, oh, why you do my emotions like
Yeah,
this?
yeah, absolutely, 100%. It was really good, really, really good.
Really, really snappy, really well written, and very well acted.
Yeah, I wasn't going to watch it. And then
Yes.
Ross mentioned in the Discord about how good it was. So I was like, well, I'll check it out, and I'm addicted now. I'm going to watch it all.
Yeah.
It's great. Anything else?
That's pretty much it, I think, for me.
Yeah, I've not watched a lot more. I did finish Abbott Elementary, as I just mentioned.
Yeah.
I got to the end of that. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not pulling up any trees.
It's a well-made
It's just a
show.
good,
It's got good performances. I know what you mean. It isn't. It sounds like an insult. It's not.
Yeah, I don't want to insult it.
No, because it is good, but it's not. It's not laugh a minute.
Not
It's
laugh out
not-
loud funny. No,
Yeah.
it's just a good little show. As I mentioned, we finished the Robert franchise. I went to the cinema last night.
Okay, yeah.
It was an unlimited screening of a film that comes out at the end of this month called Missing.
But yeah, I think there's loads of films called that.
I think there is. It's a very generic title. It's the epitome of a Saturday night pizza and a Magnum movie.
Okay.
It's a good little thriller. It's a mystery thriller. It's all done by. It's one of these movies where everything's done by sitting in front of a computer. So it's all Facebook Lives. It's all webcam footage.
Yeah.
It's all like FaceTimes, that sort of thing. The whole movie is that.
That kind of feels a bit retro now, almost.
Yeah, almost.
Sort of.
I've never seen a
Spree
movie.
type.
I know there's a few movies out there, but I've never really seen one that's done it. I've watched Spree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was worried that the gimmick could get old really quickly.
Yeah.
But it actually didn't. It actually was quite compelling because you'd be like, oh, what the fuck? Because it was twisting and turning all over the place. And then you'd be like, oh, this person's ringing it. We're going to find out more about this side of it. And then, oh, she's getting a FaceTime from this person who we think is a bad guy but might be a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
The story is basically this girl, 18-year-old girl, her mum and stepdad go on holiday to Colombia. And she's due to pick them up from the airport at 11 o'clock when they come home.
Sure.
And they don't turn up. And she has no clue where they are. She doesn't hear from them. And it's her sitting in front of her computer trying to figure out what's gone on and where they are. And she gets hold of this guy in Colombia and he goes and he's like her foot and face on the ground in Colombia. And it's like, you ever heard of TaskRabbit?
Yes.
So he's one of them, so you can hire people to do stuff for you. And so she's FaceTiming him constantly. He's really good in it. He's actually really good in it. And it was a lot better than it had any right to be. I was actually really hooked by the end.
Okay.
And yeah, I was check it out when it comes out. I think it comes out on the 24th of February. I was surprised. I was expecting it to be shit because I just went in thinking, well, this ain't going to be great.
Yeah.
But it's actually a really good story. It's
Excellent.
quite. It's got Miles from Lost in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he's quite old.
I think, now you mention that, I think I might have seen the trailer.
Yeah, maybe. The trailer's out there, definitely. The only other thing I've mentioned that I haven't mentioned over the last few weeks is I've been watching the Last of Us TV show.
Oh, of course, yeah.
There's 3 episodes in now.
Yeah.
There's potentially something really special going on here. This is a really good TV show.
Yeah.
Already, this is the show that The Walking Dead always wanted to be and isn't, as never was. This week's episode, I would challenge you not to blub your eyes out all the way through it.
Sure.
And I was not expecting the show about the plant zombies to make me cry as much as it did on Monday. It's brilliant. Episode 3 of this series is...
Look, this thing is
it's taken the world by
getting
storm.
universally praised.
It really is. And it quite rightly, because it's brilliant. The first 3 episodes have been really good. You can see it's got money spent on it. And you can see where that money's going. But yeah, it's great. It's really great.
Awesome.
Definitely check it out. If you've not been watching The Last of Us, I think there's 9 altogether. I know a lot of people are waiting until it ends and then just binge it. But this week's episode was an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. it was a long
Getting
episode.
a movie a week, guys.
Yeah, pretty much. But last week's only had like an hour, so they're not like regular episodes. But yeah, it's great. This week's was so good. So good. I think that's it. I think that's all I've watched this week.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good week.
Thanks. Should we do a real talk?
Let's do it.
Let's do a real talk.
No, my phone's dead.
Oh.
You're going to have to drive
I'll
this.
just do it all, shall I? What was this week's question? Do you remember that at least?
The question for this week's Real Talk was, what's the best performance by a child actor?
Yep. There's a child actor in our film this week.
There is.
So that's kind of where we went with it,
And
I
it's
guess.
cool.
You Are Not My Mother.
You Are Not My Mother.
We'll come on to that after we've done the real talk, shall we?
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, that was the link. Very perceptive of you.
Did we get any responses on the social media? This is the question. I'm just looking through Instagram now, and we did get a few responses.
Okay.
Our good friend Steve Lawson from Creative Studios.
Yep.
We met him last summer in July. We went to interview him. He made one of the films that we did, Pentagram. He made Pentagram. He's a film director from very local to where we are. Great guy. It was a really good interview. Check out that episode. It's still around on our stream somewhere. He went with Danny Pintoro in Cujo. That's
like
not a bad shout.
Yeah.
It's not a bad shout. It's a really good performance.
It is.
I mean, I think that kid was massively abused during the making of that film. He was not treated well, I don't think. But yeah, really, really good. Sixth Sense. What's the kid in that called? Haley Joel Osment.
He certainly is.
2 Cents Critic. They're another podcast. They chose that as their answer.
He is great in that movie.
Yeah, he is.
Considering if you just it's tough with the Sixth Sense because it becomes so parodied and so just this the twist is the twist, but maybe it's Bruce Willis being Bruce Willis, but at its core is that performance by Haley Joel Osment.
It's not a bad shout, is it?
It's a good shout.
Agreed. I think that's all we got on the socials. Let me just quickly check Instagram. We all know that I know what I'm looking for on there. So, Ross Cook came at us on Instagram with a different answer. He came up as with Bella Ramsey for Game of Thrones and The Last of Us.
Okay.
But mainly for Hilda. What's Hilda?
Very topical.
Yeah, very topical. That's it. So I'll head into the Discord now, shall I? There was some controversial ones in here today.
It generated a lot of debate, this one. Actually, more than I thought. And one of the things I like about Real Talk is that I'm often wrong about which ones I think are going to like generate more answers than others, because I wasn't sure about this one.
Yeah,
if it would, but I think we've had quite a lot of interaction on it.
Wayno came back to us first. He was the first to respond. He came with Benjamin Chivers from The Devil's Hour.
Okay.
He was the creepiest kid I've ever seen. Smashed his performance out of the park. He wants to give a shout out to Kirsten Dunst and Bradley Pearce in the original Jumanji.
Yeah,
not a bad idea.
Yeah,
good shout.
Kirsten Dunst, I mean, obviously very famous for that when she was even younger in Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, of course.
Very good.
Yeah, really good performance in that. Ross Cook came out with his official answer is Henry Thomas from E.T.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's tough to beat.
I like E.T. I'm not convinced by Henry Thomas and E.T. He's a bit.
I think he's perfect. I think he's great for that film.
Drew Barrymore's great in that film.
Oh, yeah,
she's like 6.
Yeah.
Honourable mentions for Christina Ricci in the Addams Family movies. He then predicted who I was going to pick, so we'll leave that for a minute. Smileyton came back to us with Macaulay Culkin in My Girl or Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense.
Isn't Macaulay Culkin better in Home Alone?
I don't know. Is he? I haven't seen My Girl for many a year.
Me neither. But Home Alone's his movie.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Until the last 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. He also then predicted somebody who I would pick.
Okay.
So everybody's trying to steal my picks. Alex came at us with Alex Hibbert in Moonlight.
Okay.
I haven't seen Moonlight, so I can't comment on that one. Have you?
No, but it is often mentioned as a fantastic performance. I've not seen that movie either.
No, nor me. He also wants to do an honourable mention to Lily from Modern Family.
Okay.
She is great, to be fair.
I didn't watch much of that show.
I have not seen much of it, but I have seen bits. And then there was a whole Modern Family sidebar that everybody went on. Then Sam Mulholland came at us with a controversial one.
Okay.
He came at us with Sadie Sink and Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So I said, are the Stranger Things kids? Because I thought he was thinking of this later series of Stranger Things when those two really came into their own.
Yeah.
But he came back and said, no, I just think they're great from the start. So fair enough. If that's what you think.
Well, I thought you were then like being quite hypocritical.
Why?
Because I'd asked earlier in a Discord if the kids from Stand By Me were allowed.
Yeah.
And I always like this is me thinking all of those people are around the same age. So if we can have the Stand By Me kids, why can't we have the Stranger Things kids?
Caleb McLaughlin's almost 20 now.
Right.
So in that latest series of Stranger Things, he would have been 18, 17, 18.
Fine.
So would Sadie Sink. But when the show started, they were like 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
So they're fine. But not for this later series. That's not a child performance.
That's fine.
Whereas in Stand By Me, Will Wheaton was 12 when Stand By Me was filmed.
Yeah.
And I think River Phoenix was 16 and he was the oldest.
Okay. Right.
He famously lost his virginity on the set of Stand By Me. Then there was an argument about that all kicked off as well. Sam wants to give an honourable mention to the two kids in WandaVision.
Okay, yeah.
The Doctor, they're also both in Doctor Strange, obviously. And then he wanted to give a shout out to Jack Gleeson from Game of Thrones for King Joffrey.
Now, this was a knowledge bomb dropped on me because my first reaction was, that's a great idea. Why has no one mentioned him before?
Jack Gleeson was 19 when Game of Thrones started.
Yeah, sorry, you're out.
You can't have it. He's 31 now. He's an old dude. And he did quit acting after he'd finished playing Joffrey because of the hate that he got for playing that role. He was great at it, but he has just made a film, so he's on his way back. And then I think Sam got a bit fed up with me calling out his answers, and he picked the ginger kid from Breaking Bad. He's in like one scene. And I just put, well, at least that one's a child. And that's it. That's all of our responses on the socials this week. Have you got an answer?
I'm not sure. I can't decide.
I've got a couple of honourable mentions.
Yeah.
As well.
I'm going to throw some out there, and I'll
Okay.
I'll do it on the night. I'll decide which one's my official
Throw
choice.
some at me.
Jodie Foster won Taxi Driver.
Yeah. Yeah. She's great in that.
Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
Yeah. Good shout. That's a really good shout, actually. I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah. How much impact that's had over the
Yeah,
years.
and that's a big role for a young child to take on.
My phone's died, so I can't remember the kid's name.
Okay.
The kid from the Babadook.
Oh, yeah. He was going to be one of my honourable mentions as well. That scene in the car when he's screaming. That was just
Intense.
terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
To get that sort of performance out of a kid that young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he is really young.
Brilliant.
That kid in the Babadook.
I think he was 6
proper
when
young.
I was doing a bit of reading this week. But I think I've got to go with Natalie Portman in Leon.
Okay. I haven't seen Leon.
Have you never?
No. I should watch it. But that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's her film.
It's her film. She just owns it. Good answer.
How about you?
I've got a couple I want to mention. Sean Astin in The Goonies is fantastic. He plays that part really well.
Yeah.
You just stared at me then as if you hated me. I was like,
because
it's some sort of answer. Will Wheaton in Stand By Me is fantastic in that film.
Is he the best one of the 4?
Yeah. As in terms of the performance, yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I genuinely do think he's the best one in that film. All 4 of those kids are great in that film.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But the emotions he has to go through to play that role is really good.
Okay.
Who would you have picked out of it? River Phoenix.
I've got a soft spot for Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman in anything in the 80s. He's
Yeah.
in everything in the 80s. You could
in that movie.
give
But
him that.
I don't know. For me, it's more about the interplay of the 4 of them. But I guess Will Wheaton's got the most to do, isn't he? He's got the most weight to carry.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to go through a lot of emotions in that film. Ross predicted that I was going to pick Jacob Tremblay from Room.
Okay.
And I am going to pick Jacob Tremblay from Room because that is, in my opinion, the best child acting performance I've ever seen. He's also fantastic in Wonder, which people don't really remember. Have you seen Wonder?
I have seen
Owen
Wonder,
Wilson?
yeah.
And there's also another kid in that
on
film.
Netflix, yeah.
There's another kid in that film called Noah Jupp.
Mm-hmm.
He plays his mate in that, and that's also a fantastic performance.
Yeah.
Those 2 in that are really good, but it is Jacob Tremblay in Room. But because Ross picked it and said that's what I would say, I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
Have you ever seen The Road with Viggo Mortensen?
Oh, many years ago, once, I think, yeah.
So Cody Schmidt-McPhee's in that when
Yeah.
he's like 12, 13. And back in them I think it came out in 2009.
Uh-huh.
Back then I used to write a blog, believe it or not.
That was a thing.
It was a thing, I did. And I remember writing my review of The Road and saying, Cody Schmidt-McPhee in this film is the best child performance I've ever seen, and one day he will be nominated for an Oscar. And then last year he was nominated for an Oscar, and I was vindicated. I don't rate that film very highly. I think it's quite slow. It's very methodical.
It's Cormac McCarthy.
It's
novel.
Cormac, yeah, exactly.
That's
but
what his books
Cody
are.
Schmidt-McPhee's performance in that film is fantastic. Fantastic.
And look, all these years later, vindication.
Absolutely. He got nominated for an Oscar last year. So because Ross called me out and said I would obviously pick Jacob Tremblay because that's the only kid I ever talk about on this show, because he's fucking brilliant, I'm going with Cody Schmidt-McPhee to fuck Ross Cook over.
Okay. He wasn't that good in Before I Wake.
Oh, of course. I've forgotten about Before I Wake. They all came at the same sort of time. Jacob, he was great in that. Yeah, he did all those 3 films at the same time.
Yeah.
That's got to be the best couple of years for a child actor, those 3 films.
Performance-wise.
Performance-wise.
Maybe.
The best 3 films a child actor made in such a short period of time. Room is fantastic. If you've not seen Room, go and watch Room, please.
I don't know. It's no Home Alone, My Girl, Home Alone 2
Richard
triple
Rich.
header, is it? Richie Rich. Oh my god, that's a bad movie.
That is a bad.
What a massive star Macaulay Culkin was, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
I think we've done another wave. Shall we briefly talk about this week's episode?
yeah, come back
Movie
here at the very same feed on
Yeah.
Thursday. We'll be back with a movie show. We're going back for the first time in a little while to Ireland.
We're going to do an Irish horror movie.
You Are Not My Mother.
I am not his mother. That is true, but that is also what this film's called. An Irish horror called You Are Not My Mother.
I'm looking forward to talking about this
Me too.
because I'm not sure what you're going to have made of it.
I was talking to Smileyton at work today, and I was like, Nick is not going to have a clue what I think about this. film.
No.
He's really not. And I think I know what you think of it, but I'm pretty sure you don't know what I think.
I
of
think you are. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
which always
I
make for the best
agree.
episodes. If we don't know what the other
I
person's
agree.
thinking, we always have a lot of fun with these films. So
Because I think there's, just for a final tease, I think there are reasons and things about this movie that I think you will like and appreciate. And I also think there's stuff in there that you may not be so keen
I'm
on.
trying not to give anything away with my eyes.
So as to what you're where you're going to land with this one is going to be really interesting.
Okay, cool. I think I know where you're going to land with it, but let's go and record it, and then these people can listen to it on Thursday when it comes out.
I'm excited for future Uzzes to find out what we're going to say.
Come back on Thursday for the movie show episode on You Are Not My Mother, and then we'll be back next Monday for another episode of The Wave. Until then, goodbye.
Cheers.
Bye.